This channel supports St. Jude's Research Hospital for Children and is a part of their Play Live charity drive. For more information on how to join as well as how to donate, please head to the description and click the link at the top of it. Remember, any and all support is appreciated, so feel free to give and support in any way you can. Thank you for your participation.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and 2016 is almost in the books. So we're going to go over some of the things, the highlights and the lowlights of 2016. I thought about splitting these videos up, but I was like, fuck it. We're just going to do one big whole discussion and just let myself free flow on this. I was going to like take a bunch of notes and all that. I was like, you know what? I don't need that because I can look back at 2016 and tell you guys exactly how I felt about it. As far as how gaming's going, how the gaming community looks to me, um, what I'm looking forward to, and all of that. Um, so let's just dig right in. So, how do I feel about 2016 as a whole when it comes to gaming? I thought it was a good year. A lot of people are gonna say it's bad. It's been drab. It's been dry. Blah 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 blah. And I'm sorry, I have to say this, and I probably say it every year, but when I hear people say that, I have to wonder what exact type of gamer they are, because I've, over the years, especially doing YouTube and looking at videos and listening to people, you kind of get a sense, at least for me, I get a sense that a lot of the people who say a lot of these things tend to pigeonhole themselves into certain genres or into certain lanes when it comes to gaming. I've noticed the people who have the biggest issue with 2016 as a whole in gaming, at least from my perspective, are people who may have limited themselves to certain types of games, certain genres. Like, you may be just a shooter guy, and if you're just a shooter guy, 2016 should have been a solid year, but at the same time, there may be something that you were looking for that was missing. Like, I know a lot of people who played a lot of COD. They tend to be down on gaming because I guess they're looking for that magic time when Call of Duty was at its height and nothing else could seem to bring back that feeling. At the same time, Titanfall 2 is a fucking great game. I think if you're looking for something to replace the if from at least the mechanically sound part of Call of Duty, yeah, Respawn, the guys who did Modern Warfare, they know how to fucking make a really great, solid um, game with gameplay. First Titanfall had that same solid gameplay mechanics, and this one is no different. It's improved, in my opinion. Um, and it's just fun to play overall. Um, but you have Battlefield 1, which, while it's a lot more, I guess, realistic and wants you to play in a more sim-like manner in comparison, it's not a full sim, but in comparison to Call of Duty, yeah, Battlefield is always going to be considered the more real experience. It's not just that; it's just fun to play. Well, controls are great, looks good, gameplay's good. It's just a solid game. But you're gonna have those people who just feel like it's just dry out here. Because they don't want to break away from the type of games that they generally play. Like, if you want a super serious, fast-paced, boots on the ground shooter, you didn't get that. So you're going to, of course, say everything's dry because you didn't get that arcade style game that you got that you like. And that's just how I see it. That's probably one of my biggest disappointments when it comes to 2016 is that the gaming community hasn't matured the way that I would like it to. I would so love if we can mature. And I blame YouTube, not necessarily YouTube itself, but When I say I blame YouTube, I blame us as content creators because um well, I'm not saying we have total influence over the gaming industry or anything like that. I'm not going to overinflate our position. I think YouTube content creators have a significant influence. That being said, I think a lot of people misuse that and aren't very clear because I think a lot of times you get the people who just come out and just like, oh, this is trash. It's trash. It's trash. It's trash. It's trash. Okay, why is it trash? It's trash. No, I need you to give me an explanation. I need you to give me a fair and balanced opinion, not just scream it's trash and just sit there and do a clown video because you don't like something. Um, and that kind of doesn't help the community because you get a lot of people who are willing to follow that and just go along with it. Because I see it all the time in different chats. People will just take what someone they heard say, if it's their favorite YouTuber, and they'll just immediately, yeah, it's trash, it's trash, it's trash. Well, how much did you play of this game? I ain't play it. I just know it's trash. It looked trash. You don't really know. You're not giving me any reason as to why. You're just saying so. I hate that fucking attitude, and I hate the way that certain content creators kind of perpetuate it and help support that. It shouldn't be that way. I need you to give a solid opinion, not just scream trash, trash, trash. But this is where it's kind of where people stop taking us serious, and this is why it bothers me about the lack of maturity in the gaming community. Because as influential as being a content creator can be, it's still hard to be taken 100% serious simply because of people who do stuff like that. Because if that's just how you're going to approach it and give your opinion on things, most people are just going to dismiss it as, okay, he don't like it, so he's going off on it. And he's not really giving a valid opinion. And, um, you know, if I'm a developer, publisher, I don't know how serious I'm taking you, especially since we all know there's a lot of people out there in this community too who go on those epic rants just for show. Again, had no background, no solid information, no real thoughts, but you're screaming and hollering about how bad a game is and how trash it is, and it's entertaining. So that's one of the things I need to change. It's like the gaming community needs to be a lot more serious about itself and how it views games and how it gives opinion, and to know that, hey, you can't be going after somebody because they don't feel the same way you do. I hate the infighting within the community because of that. Sure, I may think Battlefield 1 is the bee's knees. You may think it's shit. I'm not going to call you out or just like go after you for that. You know what? That's your opinion, and you know what? You may not really adhere to it. There's a lot of games that I don't adhere to that lots of people adhere to. I don't feel like I should be subjugated to harassment because I don't feel the same way as the whole, and vice versa. So we need to stop that. We need to stop the pettiness and all that, and we need to mature as a gaming community. But positives are, you know, the positives is that the diversity in gaming is growing. I know, again, and I hate to harp on this, but this goes back to the attitude of the community. I know a lot of you guys hate the idea of indie games, but indie games have done a tremendous job in fleshing out and breathing diversity into gaming. Stuff like Hyperlife Drifter, uh, Rogue Galaxy, things like that. I like it. I like because it harkens back to that old school times where people would just make all these quirky, crazy, off the wall, creative games. Stuff that you see on PC. More so nowadays than anything that have now started coming to consoles. I love that because it's getting back to, I guess, my roots. Maybe back in the Nintendo days, SNES days, Sega days, all types of manners of titles will come out. They pull stuff from arcades. People create some crazy new characters and crazy ideas to develop games with. And it's funny, again, people always complain that there's no creativity, there's no diversity. No diversity. It's right there in the indie market, but no, people still have that stigma about indies. It's like, so you wouldn't pay $10, whatever it is, for a game like Hyper Life Drifter, which solid game, but you pay 60 for some shit like Infinite Warfare that you fucking hate. But because it's a $60 game, it's more justifiable. I don't get it. Again, gaming community, change your attitude. These games are great. You have a lot of diversity and creativity in gaming still because of them. Uh, Sad reality is most major publishers aren't going to take too big of a chance because they're spending millions and millions and millions upon millions of dollars, not just to develop, but to promote and all that. They want a sure thing. And you know what? Sure things are things that you look at the market and you see people buy a lot. If I see people buy a lot of shooters, you know what? It's probably to my benefit to make a shooter. Even if I want to make some quirky, plucky RPG that's set in medieval times, that don't sell as well as a Call of Duty like game. So, you know, maybe we should develop a shooter. Stagnation in gaming is not necessarily due to a lack of creativity within the developers. It's just that reality is our buying habits coupled with the way we talk about and view these smaller games that come with this creativity, that does nothing but sell the idea to publishers and developers that, hey, they just want the same old things again, and that's how we're going to make money because clearly they're buying the same old things again, even if they're complaining. So I'd rather go that avenue. It's safer for me. I'll be profitable and I could stay afloat as a business. You know what I mean? Whereas these small companies, these are guys normally like in the indie scene who they're borrowing money from banks, they're putting their houses up for collateral. They're scrapping together as much cash as they can to try to come up with this game and finish it and put out their vision. But we shit all over them for doing that. You know, and I'm not saying like there are moments where you should. Again, the No Man's Sky thing, which I guess should be one of the disappointments for me, but for a much different reason than most of you. Um, there's a keen example of how like all the glitters isn't gold. They were an independent studio. They bit off more than they could chew, and they sold people a bill of goods that wasn't as good as they thought it was. Um, by the way, why they're my most disappointing? Simply, I felt like even though I wasn't interested in No Man's Sky, I felt like the whole idea like they sold about this expansive universe where you can go and you can change the name of it, like name your planet and discover new things. And as you go, people will come by and they'll see the stuff that had been done that you left there and all of that. I thought it would be one of those games that used the progressive um, system that they were using, where it would just perpetuate the same things and other people's game experiences would be a cursor to other games like Rockstar open world games utilizing something like this so that if I did something in an area you could see the effects later, keep build these very expansive connected worlds where people can all see the consequences of your actions and you can see the consequences of their actions and whatnot. But ultimately, No Man's Sky didn't deliver on that promise, and they didn't deliver on a lot of promises that a lot of people um, felt they had, which is pretty bad. But the way he talked it up, He may be. I'm one of those people. I have to say, I believe that they were putting together something that could be special and that could help advance the game community um, as a whole, but was not to be. Not to be. Hopefully the game is better with that patch. Hope for all you bought it. Hopefully you'll find some enjoyment out of the game. Um, but yeah, that was great. I mean, we had some great games. Titanfall 2, as I mentioned before. Um, Battlefield 1. Uncharted 4, of course. Fucking ridiculously awesome. Great way to send off Nathan Drake. Overwatch came out, surprised the world. It buried another game and ultimately put another studio in quite a conundrum because now Gearbox is just trying to figure out what the fuck to do. Battleborn came out not too far before Overwatch, and it got destroyed. That community, I don't even know if there is a community, to be quite honest. But there's rumors that Gearbox is trying to make it free to play, so we'll see. I'm glad I didn't. Well, no, I actually kind of sort of spent money on it because I got a humble bundle. That shows you how fast it faded. I got a humble bundle for $15, and in the midst of all these older games, Battleborn was one of them. Um, it was the most recent game on the list because I was getting stuff like Railroad Tycoon, Civ 5, Spec Ops: The Line, NBA 2K2, 2K 15. Oh, was it? All that. No, it was 16. But all that came in it. Yet a game as recent as Battleborn was in the mix with that. It sucks because it doesn't seem like a bad game necessarily, but it just doesn't capture the feel that Overwatch did, and it suffered from that. Um, but yeah, you had some good. I mean, Dishonored 2 came out this year. A lot of people thought that was great. Mafia 3, while it has its complaints, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought that was a solid game. It's a solid game. The gameplay, yeah, does leave some to be desired. How simplistic some of the things can be, but storytelling's great. The acting's great. Um, it's a game that is worth attention, especially when I see other games that have flaws. Mafia 3 definitely gets slept on. It's fallen prey to the GTA effect where any semblance of an open world and everybody expects you to do it like Rockstar. It's just not going to happen that way. It's I don't know. You just gotta let it stand on its own. Maybe you'll enjoy it better. But yeah, we got a Final Fantasy game. That was a great thing. Uh, we've got tons of stuff coming in 2017, which I'm looking forward to. But 2016, I didn't really think it was a bad year. I mean, looking at my top five, which I mentioned to you guys in another video, you have to admit there's been some really, really solid games, and just add-ons to other stuff that's gone. Like The Witcher 3 got the Blood and Wine expansion that people raved about. I think gaming's in a good place right now. I don't think it's necessarily in a bad place. But hey, it is what it is. People aren't gonna um, change their opinion because I say so. I don't expect you to. If you feel like gaming this year was not good, or please don't say this word, but if you think it's trash, fucking hate that term because it's one of the most overused fucking terms, and one of the most um, improperly used terms. Because a lot of these people screaming that it's trash, it's trash. Y'all don't even understand the context of why you're using it and what you're using it for. You're just saying it because you heard somebody say it. Jesus. Anyway, sorry. I keep going on these mini rants, but yeah, 2016 was fun. And I can't wait for 2017. Um, I guess I will save a separate video for my most anticipated games for 2017. But there's already a list of games that are coming out that already super pique my interest. for 2017. So I'm very much looking forward to that. 2016 was a fun year for me, solid year for to me. As far as gaming, I enjoyed what I did, even going back to the older stuff, like how Dice continues still supports Battlefield 4. Been able to play that still while playing Battlefield 1, 2, which I love, which I think is a great thing. Destiny, of course, I'm a big Destiny fan. Been playing that, I've been having fun with that. Um, yeah, it's just it was a pretty good year for me in gaming, and hopefully the problems that I see in gaming, mostly, I mean, I didn't name a lot. Most of my focus was on the community. Although I could say this from a development standpoint, stop letting the community bow you out into continually doing these same things. Do like Ubisoft did, and hopefully Ubisoft is going to come out with something else after Wild comes out next year, where they take this like one section, this one group of studios or whatever directors, and go out and find people who want to in within their company who have these crazy off the walls quirky ideas and try to make stuff like that is beyond the traditional um, releases, like with Valiant Hearts and Child of Light, or with Wild. You know, get back to that point where people like to complain keep saying we're not, where games were quote unquote more creative. There's creativity out there, people. You just have to be willing to invest in it and try it out, and not just expect for every big market campaign to sell you on everything. Go out and discover some great fucking games. But yeah, I'm happy with 2016. Again, it wasn't the greatest. It's not going to be ranked high, in my opinion, as one of the greatest gaming years, but we had some great games within it. We had some fun, and that's what matters the most. Anyway, as always, you guys hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Megas, and I'm out. Deuces.